Sergeant Arms will please secure the chamber doors. Members, please take your seats. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. President.
All right, Senators, we are very pleased today to have Reverend Carlton R. Burns from Pleasant Grove Baptist Church in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, guest of the distinguished senator from the 23rd District. Members, please rise for the invocation.
Good morning. Let us pray. Almighty and everlasting God, we come before your presence today with humbled hearts, knowing that we need you. We need your wisdom and guidance as leaders of this great state of Maryland. God, we do not take for granted our responsibility to lead your people. So we are asking for your empowerment for the task at hand. Please be with us as we embark upon this new year of challenges and great possibilities. We trust that if we put our matters into your hands, you will direct us in the ways that's best for the people of the state and set the foundation for generations to come. Oh God, look upon each representative here today and allow your grace to rest upon them in a special way. Give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as they move forward to make significant decisions for our great state. Please allow your grace to rest upon their families as they partner with them in this monumental task. Dear God, remind us of our constant need of your providential leadership. Make our path straight as we look to you. To you be all the glory and honor. Amen.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 23rd District.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, colleagues. Reverend Carlton R. Burns, Sr. has served as pastor of the Pleasant Grove Baptist Church since October 1997. He's a preacher, teacher, pastor at heart, loving husband to Levice and father to Carlton Jr. and Andrew and Asia Burns. He's a graduate of the Liberty Baptist Theological Seminary, where he received a Master's of Divinity degree in Pastoral Ministries and currently pursuing a Doctor of Ministry degree at the Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary. He's a founder and president of Church Planning and Revitalization Ministries, where he seeks to equip ministers for the work of the pastorate office and bring revitalization to declining churches. God has gifted Pastor Burns with the ability to apply biblical principles to current events in a way that is relevant and easily understood by people of all ages and from all walks of life. In addition, God has allowed Pastor Burns to use this gift of preaching all over the country, where he is also a frequent instructor at Christian conferences in the Washington metropolitan area. His support also reaches international levels. God has allowed Pastor Burns to broadcast on radio station 1340 WYCB and to broadcast on West Africa Radio as part of a mission trip. He's traveled to Israel to study at the Jerusalem Biblical Center and to labor in the foreign ministries missions field, including Liberia, India, Kenya, St. Kitts, Haiti, and Canada. Pastor Burns' ambition in life is simply to do God's will. Mr. President, I've known Pastor Burns for over 45 years. He is my friend, he is my neighbor, and a valuable member of the 23rd Legislative District, and I ask that Pastor Burns' prayer be journalized.
Without objection, Senator, most certainly we will journalize your neighbor and pastor's wonderful remarks this morning. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And experience in Haiti, it is awful what's happening right now in Haiti. I just saw that their last elected official just left the country. It's just a surreal, horrible humanitarian crisis happening right in Haiti. So appreciate your work there, and hopefully we can get the support that's necessary. All right, has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 45 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland is now in session. Senators, this is 45. Even though it looks like the board is full, it's funny to look down because we have so many white spots on the board. So we'll have our two more members as soon as they are replaced by central committees and the governor makes a selection. And so let's hope by the end of next week, maybe, we'll see. We'll have a full 47. Chair recognizes the minority leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. You're right. We're back to the good old days where you only have 32 senators now.
Fair point. That was funny. We all always have 47, you know, we all. All right, any introductions today? Introductions? Yes, Chair recognizes the Senator from the 42nd District.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 2 introductions in a single day.
Senator may proceed.
First of all, my guest on the floor this morning is Brian Ware. Brian, stand up. He's a graduate of Hereford High School in my district, and he's currently a freshman at Towson University.
Wonderful. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
And then second, we all met David Klein earlier in the week, who is in Towson High School, a senior in Towson High School, one of our pages. But he's joined today by about 59 other sophomores from Towson High School
good.
who are in the gallery.
Wonderful. Welcome. Welcome, Towson High School. And is this, Senator, is this part of a specific program, or Chair recognizes Senator from District 6?
Thank you, Mr. President. I had the opportunity also to meet with the class, but I also have one person in particular I'd like to mention.
Senator,
she is my stepdaughter, and she's here today, Serena Saki. I hope you give her a warm welcome. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Thanks for lending your stepdad over for the Senate here for these 90 days. We appreciate him. Wonderful. Yes, Chair recognizes Senator from Hartford.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would this be the time to introduce Doctor of the Day?
Senator may proceed.
Okay, I was fortunate to get to meet with him earlier today in my office. The Doctor of the Day is Dr. Frank Sparandaro. He's retired from internal medicine and resides Forest Hill in Hartford County. So
Excellent.
he said he's going to be here a couple more times this session, too.
Oh, wonderful. So. Wonderful. Well, in absentia, we don't see him. He may be over in the house. If he comes in, just if you point him, if he comes to the floor, we'll catch him. Excellent. All right. Any other introductions today? Any other introductions? Yes, Chair recognizes Senator from Baltimore City, Baltimore County.
Thank you. It's not an introduction, but it is perhaps an introduction. I'd like to also welcome the Towson High School students, since Towson High School is now in the 43rd District.
Very good.
Welcome, and I look forward to talking with you at some point today.
Wonderful. Well, please, Towson High School folks, yes, make sure to reach out to the Senator from the 43rd District so that you all can arrange a chat and chew, maybe. I may have just signed you up to buy lunch, but, you know. There's the clapping, yes. Any other introductions or notes before we jump in? If not, so be considered the reading of the bills from the prior legislative day. We're still plugging along. We have Senate bills. This is calendar number 8. Clerk will read the bills.
Senate Bill 164, Senator Watson, driver's licenses, suspension for child support, arrearages, exception, judicial proceedings. Senate Bill 165, Senator Watson, action to collect a private education loan, required documents, judicial proceedings. Senate Bill 166, Senator Waldstreicher, housing and community development, adaptive reuse, education, energy, and the environment. Senate Bill 165, Senator Elfreth, Maryland State Arts Council funding, budget and taxation.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. We have Senate bond initiatives, calendar number 4. It looks like Howard County is coming in hot on this calendar today. Clerk will read the bond initiatives.
Howard County Senators, family, restrooms, and adult changing station, budget and taxation. Howard County Senators, Clover Hill House, budget and taxation. Howard County
Majority Leader
Senators,
moves, so be considered the reading of the bond initiatives. They will head to the Capital Committee. All right, Senators, the desk is clear. Desk is clear. We're going to do committee announcements in just a moment. Just wanted to, as we have not a lot of work at the moment, before we sort of have the second readers on the floor, just a couple notes. It's a new session, a brand new, fresh start. We had a great day yesterday. It was a pretty historic moment. Kind of overwhelming attendance. I think we had about, I think they said somewhere over 6,000 people came to see the outdoor swearing-in ceremony, which is pretty remarkable. Probably a historic number that attended, and then a very, very nice ceremony or party, inaugural ball yesterday at the convention center. So it was just a great day overall. And thank you to our Chair of Finance who stepped in at the last minute to help us out at the beginning of the swearing-in ceremony. We had some last-minute logistics challenges, and so greatly appreciate the stepping in there. Pivoting slightly as we sort of move into the session, We're going to have bills being reported out very shortly here, and committees will be voting soon. And just want to make the note that one of the most important aspects of our work as a body together, the 45 of us, but soon to be 47 of us, is the reporting out of bills from committee on the floor. And so the honor of presenting a bill on second reader, it is a high privilege for each member. And so just a reminder as we before we get into it, if you are given that honor, if the committee chair is passing along to be the reporter of the bill, really study the bill. Make sure that you know the answers, know the best you can about the bill. Our committee analysts do amazing work to kind of give a script ahead of time. The big difference between the Senate is we really want to have a robust debate about each of the issues. And so the floor leader for each of the bills is that conduit to make sure that we have a really thoughtful, good debate on bills. And so really study the details. Some people feel more or less comfortable on the floor, and so notes certainly are understandable. But to the degree you can speak to it in plain language and to the best of your ability, describe it in a way that all of us can really understand, that's how we can do our best work. And so just really want to kind of make that note ahead of next week because next week's when we're really going to get into things. And look, the other most important aspect is the number one thing that each of us relies on is facts, or are the facts of each bill. And so if we don't know it, it's okay to not know it and we can ask Department of Legislative Services. And if there's something that we relay that's incorrect or not accurate, we have to come back and correct the record because it's just too important that we get this stuff right. Too many people, the 6.5 million Marylanders who rely on us to get it right are really, they want us to know that we're operating from the right premise. So just a note ahead of time, I know our committee chairs are going to do a phenomenal job passing out, handing out the bills as necessary to those who are able to present on the floor, and just wanted to kind of pass along that note before we get into it next week, so that we can have a great start to the year. Any other issues before we do committee announcements? If not, let's start with the Chair of Finance.
Good morning, Mr. President. Colleagues, the Senate Finance Committee will meet in the committee room at 1 p.m. today. We will have a briefing from the Maryland Insurance Administration, followed by a briefing from the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange, and then we'll have an OIS training on the Senate floor system for members and their staff. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Chair of Education, Energy, and the Environment.
Thank you, Mr. President. Eventually, we are going to settle on a short-term version of this committee, but not today. For now, the Education, Energy, and the Environment Committee is going to have a briefing on education, curriculum development, and the like, and we're going to have the State Superintendent of Schools in the committee at 1 p.m. Thank you, Mr. President.
Wonderful. Thank you. Chair of Budget and Tax.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today we have 2 calendars of bills. There's a total of 25, so it's going to be lots of fun. The first calendar is sponsor only. So these are bills that have passed the Senate unanimously in the past. And but 25 bills, going to be fun. All
right, jumping right into it. Chair recognizes the Chair of Judicial Proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're going to ask the members of the committee to come to report to the committee at 12:30 for an OIS briefing for your laptops, and then we'll follow that with a briefing on the statute of repose at 1 p.m. And I've just been informed that as of today, JPR has just about double the bills reported to our committee than any other committee. So JPR after dark, it looks like, for the next couple of weeks here.
The workhorse. JPR after dark, yes. Excellent. Yes, Chair Budget Tax.
Evidently, in my excitement, I forgot to say it's at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, yes. Lots of work. That begins at 1. 12:30 for Judicial Proceedings. All right, any other delegation or select committees, delegations? Yes, Chair recognizes Senator from Howard and Montgomery.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I'd just like to remind you that the Hunters of Maryland and the Sports Caucus are having their annual luncheon at Harry Brown's immediately following session. We'd like to invite you all to come and join us and chat about outdoor recreation, hunting, and fishing.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Senator. Any other announcements? Yes, Chair recognizes Senator from Western Maryland.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, colleagues. I'd like to take this opportunity to invite you, sir, and my fellow senators and staff to this year's annual PACE reception. It's being held at the Westin tonight from 5 p.m. to 7:30. Tomorrow morning's legislative breakfast will be at the Westin as well, Friday 8 a.m. to 9. You may or may not know I represent District 1. That's the Appalachian region of Maryland. It consists of Allegheny, Garrett, and Washington counties. Now, Appalachians, as you may know, are very independent. They're very content with the places where they live. They're very close to nature and have a deeply held belief in God. They're friendly, kind, and helpful to one another, taking care of the needs of others. Appalachians also have a strong sense of what is right and what ought to be. Today, Appalachia in Maryland is a popular tourist attraction. Its mountainous terrain, beautiful scenery, and yes, outdoor recreational opportunities bring a large amount of visitors, such as yourselves, and the dollars that you bring with you. I look forward to seeing you tonight and tomorrow morning at the Westin. Welcome. Please join. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. And heard that rumbling of Mountain Maryland coming into Annapolis. It was it's always one of the best gatherings every single year, and so thank you for making sure to put that on our radar. Thank you, Senator. Any other notes or announcements, gatherings? If not, let's go ahead and do a quorum call before we adjourn.
Mr. President.
Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 45 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. Chair recognizes the majority leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate of Maryland stand adjourned until a pro forma, you're very welcome, session tomorrow morning at 11. So that's Friday the 20th at 11 a.m. Pro forma.
Pro forma at 11 a.m. Pro forma at 11 a.m. Without objection, so ordered. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend if we don't see each other.